Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making some easy, flavor-packed blueberry muffins. So let's get started. First off, set your oven to 400 so it's nice and hot. Now, in a large bowl, we're gonna combine our dry ingredients, starting with 2 cups or 240 grams of all-purpose flour. We want the fluffiest, most tender, amazing blueberry muffins, and the first part of that is measuring your flour carefully. If you add too much, it's gonna be bready and dense. Not what I want. For contrast, I want 1 teaspoon of salt. If you're using a fine-grained table salt, I would go to like 3/4 of a teaspoon or even half. If you're using diamond crystal salt, I would add in a little bit more because it's a less salty salt. To puff things up, you'll also want 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Grab a whisk, give that a whisk so it's nice and combined. Just whisk, whisk, whisk. Now it's time to set this aside and grab a large bowl and your hand mixer or a stand mixer. Into a large bowl, I'm adding half a cup of room temperature butter. And I'll tell you today, it's very cold and my butter was not room temperature after several hours. It was pretty icy and hard. So feel free to microwave it for 10 seconds at half power if it's a little too firm. You should be able to press your finger into it and it leaves an indent with just a little bit of work. I'm gonna cream this up on low for just a minute. And today I'm using all butter, but if you wanted to, you could use half butter, half vegetable oil, or even all vegetable oil. It's totally up to you. I love the taste of butter, but if you're gonna enjoy your muffins over the next couple days, or they're gonna live in the refrigerator, I would use half vegetable oil so they're really, really soft, even if they're cold. Now I'm adding 3/4 of a cup or 150 grams of granulated sugar right in. I'm gonna mix this up for just a minute again. Mix this up on medium for a few seconds so it's nice and combined, and then we can add the egg. If you added the butter, eggs, and sugar in all at the same time, it works if the butter is the perfect temperature, but if it's a little bit too hard, it gets frustrating. 1 egg and 2. By the way, if you like my videos and you haven't subscribed, hit that button. I post new videos twice a week and there is always something delicious on the horizon. Blueberry muffins are one of my favorite morning treats. However, actually, that reminds me, there's an optional ingredient you can add right now, and that's lemon zest. I'm gonna zest 1 whole lemon and pop that in. With all the mixing, the oils will get expressed and you'll have a beautiful lemony flavor coming through. And in my opinion, lemon and blueberries go hand in hand. There's so many different ways that you can make these muffins, and this recipe will work in any number of ways. I'm gonna show you a couple more variations you could do, and just like make the recipe a bit more your own. Now we're gonna mix on medium speed for about 2 minutes until it is light and fluffy. If you were doing this in a stand mixer, you would definitely have to scrape the bowl down, but with a hand mixer, you could just scrape as you mix. That looks light and fluffy, and it's a beautiful light yellow color. I have some big, beautiful blueberries for these muffins, but if I just mix them in, they might sink a little bit more than I'd like. I want them to be suspended throughout. So go ahead and grab a tablespoon of the dry mixture, sprinkle that over your 8 ounces of blueberries, and just give it a toss. Now we're hoping that the powder that's on the blueberries will trap little pockets of air and help them kind of float or cling to where they are instead of sinking down. Now we can continue on. So 2 teaspoons of vanilla will give us a lovely depth of flavor. Add that right in and mix it up. For this recipe, we're using 3/4 of a cup of milk. If you want, you could add 1/4 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and 1/4 cup of sour cream for a really tangy, zingy blueberry muffin. Today I'm gonna use all milk, which is what the recipe calls for, but you can totally switch it up if you want. I'm gonna add the flour in 3 additions, alternating with my milk or milk mixture. And mix on low in between. You don't wanna overmix your batter. If you wanted to, you could also use buttermilk instead of regular milk for a little bit of more of a tangy situation. Mix that in, the rest of the milk. And add the last bit of flour. Mix, mix, mix. And I still see flour hanging around, but I'm gonna stop mixing. until that very last addition of flour. It looked like it was just way too watery, but it all came together in the end. So scrape the bowl down and just mix any streaks of flour in. And now we're gonna stir in our blueberries. Add those in and gently fold them together. Try and get a nice distribution of blueberries. Like one of my favorite scenes in that movie, Casino, is Robert De Niro complaining about his muffin, which has like one blueberry in it, and his friends is full of blueberries. So he makes the chef count them out individually per muffin, which is not sustainable. That's wonderful. My oven's hot, the batter is ready. Grab your muffin tin and papers and let's get to work. Pop your papers into your muffin wells, and now we're gonna divide the batter evenly, and these will be full muffins. We have the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit so that they really puff up dramatically. In you go. You have a choice. They could be beautiful, plain, delicious blueberry muffins, or you could top them with a little bit of sugar, or you could top them with a crumble or streusel topping. I'm gonna do half and half today so you can see the difference. The streusel topping is beyond easy. All you do is mix up half a cup of flour, half a cup of sugar, and a quarter cup of butter with a pinch of salt. It could be cold butter that you work in, or it could be melted butter that you drizzle in. Either way, it works. If you watch this channel, you know I have a habit of overfilling my muffin tins, and it's happened once again. So I have 11 very full muffins. That's totally fine. No one's gonna complain about that. Except the 12th guest. Just kidding. As promised, the streusel topping, super easy. I'm mixing in the butter, sugar, and flour, and drizzling in my butter. Sprinkle with sugar if desired. This could be sanding sugar, granulated sugar, any kind that you like. And for the other almost half of the muffins, I'm gonna sprinkle on my streusel topping. Add a couple of blueberries on top just so they know what they're biting into. My muffins are ready to go into the oven, 400 Fahrenheit for 20 minutes until they are puffed and golden. And because I don't want them to dry out at this high heat, I'm adding a ramekin halfway filled with water. It'll steam up and prevent them from drying out. In you go. Both of these look so beautiful, it is hard to choose. You make whatever your favorite version of this is. I'm gonna have a bite of this one. That tastes like magic. It is crazy because the outside is crunchy from that sugar topping, but the inside is a soft cloud filled with blueberries with a little bit of zing from the lemon. It's amazing. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and if you like this video, check out my muffin playlist.